Right away, we see Summit and Jenny ziplining. Jenny and Summit expressed to the audience that they peaked when they got married, and their love story so jokes because originally Summit was working at a call center in India, and he was one of those dudes that's trying to scam your grandparents out of money.
That guy is a scammer.
Summit was one of those bros, and he started chatting up Jenny on Facebook, spitting fire lines like, "Do you have a map? Because I keep getting lost in your eyes." At first, he was catfishing her though because he used the name Michael Jones, and he stole some male model's photos and pretended that this is what he looked like. And after a couple months of them talking, getting comfortable with each other, he decided to tell her the truth that he's not this beater male model. He's this big Indian stud named Summit.
You were being catfished?
I kind of was. I could see the look on your face.
Everyone will agree that the biggest obstacle that this couple ran into was Jenny's age because she's 63 years old.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
मैं बिल्कुल नहीं छोड़ना चाहती इसके साथ।
क्यों नहीं?
मैं बिल्कुल ही छोड़ दे जेनी इसको।
And speaking on Summit's mother, she hates Jenny because she believes that him being with an older white woman like Jenny brings shame to their family in India.
कहते क्या तुमने अपने बेटे को संस्कार दिए जो एक बुढ़ी औरत के साथ रह रहा है हमें बहुत शर्म.
Entertainment wise, I rate them a 9 out of 10 because of the cultural differences. Also the fact that his parents constantly try to break them up. Next cancer couple we see is Liz and little Eddie. She's waxing his back right now, which is actually really sweet. I'm Italian and I got the body hair, not the skin, which kind of sucks. Something positive to say about Liz and Ed is that they're both messy and entertaining. The problem is, let's look at the title again, 90 Day Fiancé. Both of these two are American, so technically they shouldn't even be on the show.
So funny.
Next couple we see is Kim and Usman, and they're go-karting right now, and he's wearing a shirt with both of them on it because this old lady's just taken to America.
I don't look at him as like he's 18 years younger than me. I mean, the love is there. So that's what's important.
To summarize Kim and Usman from the last season, much like Mike, she tried to buy his love and affection, and we saw that by how she got him about $3,000 worth of gifts in order to use that to sleep with him. Usman strung this old lady along, and she prioritized everything he wanted to do in Africa. The minute she left, he hit up his ex Zara, who is a younger woman from America, and basically said that he's ready to be in a relationship with Zara, and he would jump ship so fast to be with her. Kim had no idea about this, and then they played it for everybody at the tell-all, which was high-key embarrassing. But I guess she forgot about that because she's so desperate to be with this dude.
I know it will sound crazy and you may not believe it, all of you. I will never cheat.
He's a pathological liar.
Not really sure why she thinks it's gonna be different with him living in America. If anything, he's just gonna jump ship the minute he gets his green card. Kim says, "I'm Soulja Boy's girlfriend. That's so awesome." Ed says to Liz, "You are my forever." But forget those dorks. Look at Summit and Jenny's wedding outfits. Indian weddings are so fire. They also got Andre and Elizabeth.
Oh God, why didn't anybody tell me?
Today's video is sponsored by Upside. Thank God for them because these gas prices are getting outrageous. I've been using the Upside app for a couple months and they've already saved me a couple $100. Upside's an incredibly useful app for anyone that buys gas, eats out, and buys groceries. The process is as easy as checking in on your app before you fill up your tank at your local gas station. You pay via debit or credit card and get cash back. And in comparison to standard credit card loyalty or reward programs, you can earn 3 times more cash back with Upside. My favorite part about using the app is that you can cash out at any time, whether it's to your bank account, your PayPal account, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Upside users are earning more than $1 million every week, so y'all gotta jump on this. And that could very well explain why they have a 4.8 star review on the App Store. I usually use Upside before I get gas, and my rewards points go towards my electricity bill because it's just so expensive for no reason. If y'all are interested in getting started with Upside, then please download the free Upside app and use my promo code Yourwetsock to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more on the app. Now let's get back to reviewing this cringe couple on the show. Damn guys, the producers are hitting us with the big guns, huh? I think it's because the current season of the show is starting to die out, starting to be a bit dog water because they started off really strong, but lately it's just getting so repetitive. Like, how long can Shai and Bilal talk about this prenup? It's been about 5 episodes of them talking about the shit. They need new drama every episode. I have ADD. Next cast member we see is Angela, and she said, "I've been loyal to Michael for about 5 years, but now I gotta do me." That is so jokes that she said that to the audience when on Reddit. She's been accused of cheating on Michael multiple times with numerous partners. Michael looks different here. Nah, she's got a new dude with some swaggy dance moves, and she says, "Let's have sex." I'm assuming your new dude's Canadian because she offered to fly there so that they can have sex. Before entering the 90 Day Fiancé universe, Angela was on the Murray Show.
Scotty's mother, Angie, claims Terry is not baby Anna Sky's father.
"I'm here to prove that my daughter's boyfriend Terry is not the father of my grandbaby Anna Sky. But I know who is, her ex-boyfriend Chris."
I'm fat as a whale and I don't give 2 shits, girl.
My Mind you, this daughter that Angela went on the Murray show with is the same daughter that served 15 months for child molestation charges. Angela's main family member that was doubting Michael's intentions was her daughter Scotty, and she was later replaced by the other daughter on the show for obvious reasons. When Angela showed up to Nigeria to meet Michael for the first time, he admits that her stature was bigger in person and she didn't really look like her pictures. And I wasn't surprised he said this because typically the cringe old ladies that go on the show facetune the ever-living shit out of their photos. And the strangest part about this as a viewer is that these women will set a false narrative for what they look like to their partner because they're insecure about the way that they look and the fact that they're older than their partner. Then when their young foreign dude communicates to them that they're not as attracted to them or that they did this, they'll play the victim and be like, he doesn't love me for me.
You go to hell.
Unfortunately, the fame from being on the show went to Angela's head and she became more and more toxic over the years, and it got to the point where she would do the most to disrespect Michael. In addition to acting unruly and disrespectful, Angela constantly treated Michael as lesser than because he wasn't American.
I'm an American. Land of the free.
Michael didn't ask much of Angela throughout their entire relationship. One time he asked her to cook a meal for his mom and aunt. When he asked this, Angela responded with, every time I come to Nigeria, I'm not doing that Nigerian woman thing. Tell your mom and aunt this is how it is when they come to my apartment. The rules change to American. I don't know about you guys, but I get so heated when these abominations go on these reality TV shows and start throwing our country's name around. And it seems like the majority of African men that go on the show are humiliated by the entitled girls that they are smashing.
Let's talk, Angie. Come on.
Shut your mouth. You think it's funny, Michael? I am who I am and you take it or leave it.
The fan base of this show hates hypocrites, and Angela was a huge hypocrite because she wouldn't let Michael even look at other girls, yet she could flirt with any guy that she wanted to.
You smell good.
Okay, I will come and I'll examine you. I'll look at your arms, your breasts, your tummy. Talk about some of the things that will be.
Especially the last season we saw Angela, she was continuously flirting with her doctor. She even had her doctor drive her home while she was drunk. Present day, the latest Angela gossip is that she went full Karen mode on a Delta flight and as a result was thrown off the flight. People that do shit like this think they're so important. So when I saw that it was Angela, I wasn't really surprised because from all the cast members I've talked to, they told me that the two cast members with the biggest egos are Big Ed and Angela. And speaking of Big Ed, this is the perfect time to transition and talk about him because he's also going to be on this next season of Happily Ever After.
No way!
We first saw little Edward Brown on season 4 of Before the 90 Days. Before entering the 90 Day Fiancé universe, he was a lackluster photographer in San Diego that tried to give business advice on YouTube.
Hey friends, this is Big Ed. This is a lesson in don't allow your consideration to become your clients. Again, short story long, we got the Vespa for $400 less, and my friend's super happy.
It's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane.
I'm Ed. I'm 54 years old. People know me as Big Ed. It's funny because I'm not tall.
The most interesting part about Ed is the fact that he doesn't have a neck, hence the name No Neck Ed.
My track record with relationships is not very good.
Because of Ed's condition and his many insecurities, at first a lot of fans wanted to root for Ed until it was revealed that he has many character flaws. Like for starters, how Ed cheated on his pregnant wife. Now he left out the fact that she was pregnant at the time that he cheated on her because he wanted to save face, which is something that he constantly does the more you watch him. Next we saw how Ed treated his 90 Day Fiancé, Rosemary Vega, over there in the Philippines, and this upset millions of people.
I arrived at Rose's house and I spent the night, and it was perhaps the worst night of my life. Things I noticed even at the airport, was her breath, but I didn't know how to bring it up. And I don't think she realizes it, but I do.
Off rip, he lied to Rose about his intentions, his height, sending $5,000 of gifts to her family, which I guess never arrived, among a lot of things that I've covered in past videos. To really dumb it down, Ed was a creepy sex tourist that took zero accountability, often lied, and always played the victim.
Change your behavior because if another see another girl, and I think you give her again what you hurt me.
All right. So you think I'm bad? I'm a bad person, okay?
Yeah.
Slay. And yas.
Hands down, the most infuriating part of Rose and Ed's segment was the tell-all from that season.
And Rose requested a translator to help her communicate today. When you were in the Philippines, you guys were able to communicate well. Rose, why do you feel like you need a translator now?
Maybe because it's live and she doesn't have the opportunity to have multiple retakes and English isn't her first language.
You're a fucking dumbass.
I think the question we should be asking is, how is it possible that you're still the host when you don't have a brain and constantly side with the American cast members? What's the name of the show, class? 90 Day Fiancé? Obviously, you're going to be dealing with a lot of people that speak foreign languages. So as a host, why wouldn't you be more understanding that someone would want to speak their native tongue to to better express themselves.
She reached out to me. If she was so angry with me, why did she reach out to me on February 9th? Does that look like she's frustrated or she's angry at me? Rose, you reached out to me. You wanted to start a relationship again.
Ed's been a pathological liar. Do claim that Rose messaged him on Valentine's Day, and instead of showing text messages as evidence, he shows pictures. This proves absolutely nothing other than the fact that Rose used a cat filter.
And wanted me back and wanted a present for Valentine's Day. You wanted me to come and see you. And I was ready. Sean, I was ready. I missed Rose. I love Rose. I was ready to give up everything. My daughter, I was ready to give up my daughter.
Bro's trying so hard to save face. This dude's like a necklace, non-superpowered version of Thanos. I don't know how many times he can give up his daughter. Rose and Ed were never a good match because Rose would never abandon her son, Prince.
They look like very, pretty sexy pictures. Was she trying to get back together with Ed?
Sexy pictures, huh? She's got a cat filter on, bruh. Sounds like you and Ed hang out at Epstein's Island if you think that that's sexy. Funniest part is that the host is still biased, and we can see that by how the last tell-all with Mike and Jimena, everyone had the wrong take. No wonder Love is Blind is kicking your guys' ass. I mean, when you got hosts like this, like the Lachey's ask actually intelligent questions. The next time he's on the show, when he enters a relationship with Liz, he promises fans the first couple episodes that he's reformed and he's worked on himself. But between us, he didn't work on himself.
I've been sitting around the corner from your house from the second I clocked out.
I don't give a fuck, Liz. You're fucked up.
During Ed's relationship with Liz, he kissed her without her consent, which was cringe. And then eventually she let him inside of her, which was more cringe.
I never had anyone take over and make love to me in my life. It will go down in Big Ed history as the event.
Ed admitted while being interviewed that he broke up with Liz about 8 times over text, and he would often find any reason to break up with Liz so that he could go and send other girls. Because of the clout he received from the show, he got a really big head. While Ed and Liz were broken up, he had a first date with this girl in Las Vegas and talked about how sad he was about his breakup with Liz the entire time. This girl was revolted to even be there.
I'm done, and I've moved on, and I wish her the best, but I'm in a much better place.
Yikers, hopefully Sis got paid for her time because that was extremely cringe. After this doesn't work out, Ed goes to Mexico to meet up with a girl named Kaori who has the same haircut as Dora the Explorer and pursue that relationship.
Me parece bien bonito que Ed abriera su corazón hacia mí, pero que una relación se construye y para construir se necesitan días, semanas, meses, años.
You gotta be this tall to ride this right now. The problem is that Kaori is very in tune with herself and spiritual, and she can see through all of Ed's bullshit. Edward learned the hard way that while in Mexico, his manipulation tactics weren't working on Kaori. So what'd he do? He came over to the United States and he hit up his booty call Liz. At the time Liz and Ed were broken up, to be fair, she went on a smear campaign and was talking a lot of shit about Edward on social media. But the minute Ed came back, he started singing, "Oh baby, give me one more chance. I want you back. Yes, I do. I want you back."
So how long have you guys been back together?
Oh gosh. Today is Saturday. Like 8 days.
Interestingly enough, when Ed and Liz got engaged the first week he came back to the United States, her ex came out on social media and said a bunch of things that I'm gonna read right now. What makes this particular situation funnier is she was staying in my house for the length of their breakup. She would beg me to buy her a ring. She wanted a carat ring. It took them less than a week of talking to each other for them to be engaged. It's all for the fame. They were both equally as desperate. Many fans hypothesize that Liz and Ed are both in this charade of being in a controversial, abusive relationship to keep the public interest's eye. But as always, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Liz's ex goes on to say, "I was married to Elizabeth. She came back to me after they broke up. She lived with me for 6 months, wanted me to marry her again and propose to her. We got into a fight a Friday night. The next Friday, she was engaged to Ed." Mind you, this is the same ex that Liz said was toxic. He's so toxic. I've been in so many toxic relationships. From the minute Liz has entered the 9-Day Fiancé universe, she has communicated to the audience that she's been in many toxic relationships and it was always the partner that was the toxic one. But this makes me think that her and Ed are somewhat meant for each other because neither one takes accountability for the toxic shit that they do in a relationship. Next, we see Yara turn to her friends for advice about her and Jovi's relationship, and when she communicates that Jovi has trust issues, her friends tell her that she's out of his league. Which, I don't know about y'all, but I do not see that being the case at all. In fact, I think Jovi has undergone a lot of growth and maturity in order to accommodate Yara in this relationship, and out of the entire cast, they're the only young, grounded couple that I've seen. Jovi then says to Yara that he doesn't like the direction that her friends are steering her towards. I agree with Jovi here. Her friends gave terrible advice, and I think Yara should find new friends, preferably ones that don't place such an importance on physical appearance. The grass is not always greener on the other side, and sometimes you just need to water your own grass and tend your garden.
Inspirational.
Next, we see Andre meeting with an immigration attorney. The attorney says, not only are they whispering behind your back, but they're writing letters to make false allegations against you to Homeland Security. Hard-faced Elizabeth says, I just don't know who would try to sabotage us. Then Andre says, if it's people from the family, they can make problems on us. I'm assuming it's Elizabeth's brother Charlie because him and Andre have gotten to a couple pushing matches on the show. When they fight, it never comes to blows. Usually they just twist each other's titties and roll around a bit. Andre says, I actually might be deported. This is a really good hook. Now I have to watch to see if Andre gets deported, because if so, that would be so jokes. Usman then asked Kim if she was dead ass about letting him have another wife. Kim then says to the audience that Usman wants a subservient woman, and that is not her. She is not that chick, honey. Okay, Kimberly, whatever you say. Then she proceeds to throw a drink in his face, which at this point is tradition because she did this in their last season. Next, we see little Edward accusing Liz of cheating on him with a woman, which is jokes because he cheated on her multiple times. He then looks Liz in the eyes and says, are you a lesbian? And the PC principal in me is just cringing because that means that she's bi. Use the right pronouns, Ed. You're gonna get canceled so fast. Finally, to end the trailer, we see Jenny and Summit fighting, and it gets to the point where Jenny says, I want you out of my life forever, Summit. Now, in addition to all the couples that were shown in the trailer, there's one mystery couple that wasn't shown in the trailer. And many 9-Day Fiancé conspiracy theorists think that it's Hamza and Memphis. And if that's the case, I can't wait for this season. Now, I did see an article that said the other possible candidates are Kara and Guillermo and Bilal and Shai. And if that's the case, I don't want to see it. A lot of their drama is repetitive, and they're not as exciting as Hamza and Memphis. I think the mystery couple should be Hamza and Memphis for a number of reasons. For one, she didn't do the tell-all, so the fan base got no closure about their segment. Secondly, their relationship turned into an absolute shit show, and they're still talking shit about each other publicly on Instagram. And thirdly, we still don't know if Hamza is in fact the father of the child that Memphis had, because it's very possible that the real father is her ex-husband Justin. Also, side quest news, if you guys have any questions for Paul from 9-Day Fiancé, let me know in the comments below, because he has agreed to be interviewed by yours truly. The more I think about it, how crazy would it be if the mystery couple was Paul and Karini? With all the drama that they've had publicly, especially in the recent months, that would be absolutely insane, and it wouldn't be that hard for TLC to pull off. Like, all they would have to do is pay him about 1/10 of what they pay Ed, and he would happily do it. Well guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. Comment below, subscribe, let's be better, follow me on Twitch and on Instagram right now.